Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here. And yeah, we are getting into, well, a little bit of a sharing for an individual who has been really thrusted back into the spotlight after a lot of years. And that is none other than Al B. Sure. Now, as we all know, Diddy, Sean B. Diddy Combs, Puffy Combs, the names go on, is currently going through some legal issues. And we know that a lot of individuals through the course of the presenting of these legal issues has really brought out a lot of other individuals associated or non-associated or somewhere in proximity to that individual, correct? So that being said, one of those individuals is Al B. Sure. So now that he's being thrusted back into the life of the celebrity world, I guess at this point, we are kind of looking at some of the things that he is going through at this particular present time. So now I won't be going into any real specifics about Diddy's case per se. There might be some elements that will probably be added or included into both of these sharings that we're going to cover for Al B. Sure, but this is really focusing more on him. So trigger warning to some of the information that may pop up due to the fact of the nature of the situation when it comes to Sean P. Diddy Combs. So we're going to go ahead and, like I said, and just take a minute to kind of look and see what's going on with Mr. Night and Day himself. And yeah, just go ahead and sit back and let me know your comments and your thoughts about, what we are going to be discussing today in this video. So that being said, our first sharing is going to be that Al B. Sure accepts an award at a first major appearance following his call for probe into Kim Porter's death. Now, this sharing comes from the Hollywood Reporter, and it basically lays out the fact that the de facto head of the New Jack Swing movement has been quiet since he dropped a 4-part Instagram post that linked the death of his ex with Sean Diddy Combs' scandal saga. Now, accepting an award at the American Liver Foundation's annual fundraising gala for his work in health equity in New York on Monday night, R&B icon Al B. Sure, also known as Albert Brown, made his first public appearance since making explosive statements calling for an investigation into the death of his and Sean Diddy Combs' ex-partner, Kim Porter. Now, being a trailblazer isn't about the fame or fortune, Brown said with determination to the crowd gathered in Midtown Manhattan as he accepted the Transplant Trailblazer Award. It's about walking a path uncertain, filled with hope and conviction, knowing that the work that y'all do will make a difference to those who come after us. Health to me is the new wealth. Now, Brown has been recovering since a cross-section of illnesses put him on a ventilator for 38 days and then in a coma for several months in 2022. The Night and Day singer grabbed headlines in September when he published a 4-part Instagram post calling for an investigation into the death of Porter, his ex-wife with whom he had 3 kids, and drew a connection to the ongoing Combs scandal. On Instagram, he calls Porter's death, which was deemed to have been from natural causes by a medical examiner, a tragic unaliving. Now, after her relationship with Brown, Porter went on to date Combs on and off until 2018. Death from lobar pneumonia, I think, is what was the cause or given the cause of her passing. So now Brown suggested in his post that Porter's certain death may have something to do with a tell-all book she was allegedly writing about her time with Combs, who remained incarcerated a few miles downtown across the river from where Brown spoke on Monday as a mogul awaits trial. Of course, all things that may be shared in this sharing will be considered alleged until we get to the point of conviction, right? So in the post, Brown clarifies that the book that was recently taken off of Amazon and purportedly contained Porter's draft of her manuscript is phony and not what he is referring to in the call for the FBI to investigate the matter. Now, Combs was arrested, as we all know, September 16 and indicted on the following day on federal charges of trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in the P word. He was pleaded not guilty and has denied bail. Combs remains jailed at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. And the P word, I mean people of the night. We'll just leave it at that. So I was in a coma on a ventilator for 38 days. I was intubated, septic, and had multiple system organ failure. Brown told the crowd of his 2022 near-death experience. And simultaneously, while undergoing such a massive life-saving liver transplant, I decided to make a decision to get up and fight, to advocate for all transplant patients around the world. So come on, come all, whether you had a transplant, you require one, or just wish to be on my new Jack team of transplant trailblazers warriors. Now, Brown is the founder of the Healthy Equity and Transplantation Coalition, which breaks down barriers in transplantation and advancing health equity of Black, Hispanic, and Latino Americans and others in undeserved communities to restore medical coverage for critical, non-invasive blood tests detecting early signs of organ rejection without biopsy. And I think they mean undeserving, right? So during his at times emotional and consistently heartfelt bout assertive speech, he detailed his works for healthy equity. Now in America, for which he partnered with Reverend Al Sharpton and thanked the many people gathered there and who couldn't join him. Now, during his speech, Brown announced that he has a forthcoming memoir titled Before Coma, After Coma, the Al B. Shore Story. The 90s music legend alluded to the post on Instagram where he publicly asked for the FBI for an inquiry into the passing of his famous ex-partner, joking that press coverage now seems to come after every word he says. He also told the crowd that Homeland Security was present in the building on Monday, but it was unclear if that was a reference to security that may have been in place for the event or if it was a light joke from the singer and producer. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it because I don't want it to go viral, but we even have Homeland Security, the singer said. Inquiry sent by The Hollywood Reporter to representatives of the event, and Brown yielded no immediate explanation as to the meaning behind Brown's comments. Now, ALF's, which is his foundation mission, is to promote education, advocacy, support services, and research to prevent, treat, and cure liver disease. And I think that it is really great that Al B. Shore is definitely bringing and shedding light to the situation that is liver, issues that are dealing with any type of organ transplant and of the severity of what he had to go through during his time. Now, I feel like at some point we will get more probably details about those things because he has basically shared that he was going to talk about it more. And so we'll see how those details line up. But I think that having a platform in which he is, creating a foundation and doing some good works through what his trials and tribulations were at the time is going to be so helpful for so many people. And so lending his voice to this is a really good thing. And I'm grateful that he is doing that, bringing more awareness, bringing more support, bringing more supplies, references, resources, all of those things to be more collective for individuals who are in underserved situations. So at this point, I think that we are going to continue to see and hear more from Al B. Shore. I wonder if we're going to see anything more in the music or if that's now going to be retired and laid down for the benefit of maybe doing speaking engagements, books, and maybe even documentaries types things. I don't think that this is going to only result in just one memoir, and I don't think that it will even resort in maybe possibly one documentary. I think that there is probably space and time for this to continue on for different reasons other than just those that are associated with Diddy. And because at the end of the day, there is so much involved in that lawsuit and so many tentacles attached to that it's going to be a while until things are all uncovered into a place where we get some resolve one way or another. So I think that there leaves a room there for Al B. Shore to really, get his messaging out for different causes, and this being one, I think is a great opportunity to do that. Coming good out of what he had to deal with. So kudos to Al B. Shore for doing that. As far as the rest of the stuff, we'll see how that, shakes up, because at the end of the day, all things are alleged at this point. Many people are on many different sides and different sectors of those sides as to what is true or not true or all that good stuff. But the bottom line is we're not going to know until we see the final end result at this point. So we're just like everybody else, I'm watching too and paying attention to, because I too want to know as well, because it's quite extraordinary and not in a great way what we are hearing and have that has been shared for everybody. So that being said, that basically covers the award that Albie Shore was presented for his ability to really take a situation that was, at the end of the day, could have been him on death's door, and was able to turn it into something that becomes purpose and cause to help other people. And so I think that was really a really good element that has now come out of such a really horrible situation, to say the least. So that being said, we're now going to move on to a second sharing that is about Albie Shore, of course, because it's all things Albie Shore for this video. And what he is basically sharing is that apparently Vibe is saying that he reportedly has increased security after requesting the investigation into Kim Porter's death. So now you see in the previous sharing, because they were available at the time, I guess, they were there maybe for some type of security for him in that event. So that was kind of a great lead in to getting more specifics as to why this took place. But I think for a lot of us, we kind of already know why, right? So anyways, we'll go ahead and go through. And again, I may be changing some words and some verbiages a little bit just to make things a little bit more YouTube friendly. But let's go ahead and get into it. Now, according to Vibe, Albie Shore reportedly increased his security after requesting investigation into Kim Porter's death. Albie Shore alludes to taking extra safety measures amid the criminal investigation into Sean Diddy Combs and the controversy surrounding the 2018 death of Kim Porter. Now, the singer, legal name Albie Joseph Brown, or Albert, excuse me, I don't know where I get Albie from, Albert Joseph Brown III delivered a speech at the American Liver Foundation National Legacy Gala on Monday, October 7th, which we just shared, where he was recognized with the Transplant Trailblazer Award. Now, according to the organization, since undergoing a successful liver transplant in July 2022, he has dedicated his life to awareness and education around organ transplants and healthy equity for people from marginalized communities. Now, being a trailblazer isn't about the fame or fortune, relayed the 56-year-old per the Hollywood Reporter. It's about walking a path uncertain, filled with hope and conviction, knowing that the work that you'll do will make a difference to those who come after us, and health to me is the new wealth. Now, he continued to detail his medical emergency, explaining and simultaneously, while undergoing such a massive life-saving liver transplant, I decided to make a decision to get up and fight, which we talked about that. Now, he wanted to also continue to advocate for all transplant patients around the world. So he said, hey, come one, come all, which we talked about that in the previous sharing. He considers his transplant team the New Jack team of Transplant Trailblazer Warriors. So that's a really cool name for that. Now, according to THR, which is probably the Hollywood Reporter, the R&B singer also announced a pending memoir, Before Coma, After Coma, the Albie Shore story, and shared on stage. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it. And of course, he talked about the fact that Homeland Security was there as well. Now, per source for Page 6, the Boston native stepped up his security immeasurably. Attendees at the event were processed through a checkpoint that included metal detectors, and Vibe has reached out to the Alf and Brown for comment. Now, since Combs' arrest, the Night and Day performer has called for an investigation into Kim Porter's death. He has alluded to Combs being involved in circumstances that resulted in his near-death experience and coma, as all things alleged. Her children, Quincy Brown, Christian Combs, and twins Jesse and Delilah Combs, have shared a statement advocating for all parties to let their mother rest in peace, writing, "There was no foul play." Now, all involved, however, agreed that a memoir claiming to the writings of Porter and published by Chris Todd should not be considered authentic. Yeah, there's been a lot of backlash, if you hadn't already heard, that there was apparently a book that was supposed to be based off of Kim Porter's sharings in maybe like a journal or some sort. I've even heard that basically these were pieces of information that she had been shared amongst many people. Then you had an individual who seemingly did not seem to have any connection to that to Kim Porter or anything associated with her. So I don't even know where he comes from from that perspective. But apparently that whatever information he put together and made this book, it hit the stands over there in Amazon. Everybody was buying the book. It appeared people were talking about the book, reading excerpts of the book, and then it got, pretty much immediately slammed by certain family members and other individuals as not being true, being fabricated, all those types of things. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the book has been pulled off the Amazon shelves. So what will happen with that? I don't foresee it ever coming back out again. And for the fact that it got pulled, there might be some truth, maybe possibly to things that were being said, as far as maybe too much was being spun on whatever was being provided in that book. I myself did not get the book. I didn't really feel the need to actually get it and read it and all that good stuff, just me personally. But we'll see what happens as far as any future books or memoirs at this point. There has been some conversation, and you may already be aware of it. In fact, where people were saying that she never wrote a book, so that this didn't even exist at all, period. So, they were able to get it shelved, but at the end of the day, it still got out in circulation. So, we'll see what may in regards to Sean and how this all shapes up. I mean, it's not a great thing, is it? So we'll just have to see how all things stack up. So that being said, I would love to know your thoughts about Albie Shore, and what do you think? How you feel about maybe some things he is alleging. Of course, feel free to share those respectfully down in the comment section. This is obviously a very sensitive topic for many reasons. And so, just keeping the open lines of communication and understanding is always a great way of communicating about this. So, I really look forward to those types of thoughtful comments in regards to the sharings of Albie Shore. I, for one, am glad to see that he seems to be doing much better. He seems to be on a really fast healing path. I'm not really sure if he's still walking with a cane or not. I kind of feel like I've seen him in pictures where he really wasn't anymore. So if that being the case, I hope that is the case for him. And I'm so glad that he has been able to get to a point of recovery. I mean, dealing with a liver transplant, that's something he's going to live with the rest of his life. And any of the issues and, things that he dealt with or that he experienced while being ill, there may be some aftermath in regards to that as well as time goes on. So I do wish him continued healing for that, and reconciliation in the ways that he needs to have them in his life as well, because we hear chatter about him maybe being estranged from his son, possibly. I don't know if that's 100% true or not, but obviously we're in a trying time because his son, is definitely, the son of him and Kim Porter. And so it must be really difficult, regardless of where you stand and how you feel, to have that to be now something else that has to be looked into. So yeah, definitely sending prayers and thoughts to those who are infected, been victims, whatever the case may be, associated in these situations, because it's horrible and horrific, all alleged, but at the same time, everybody's seeing it in real time, and there's obviously a lot of opinions and thoughts associated with this, and maybe some truths too that are coming out. So we will continue to see and stay tuned, with that being said. So thank you so much for being here. Definitely, if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, be part of the family. I would so love to have you. And I would love to know your thoughts about, just the things that we're sharing here, in regards to the foundation, and, how do you feel about that? What do you think about that? I think it's a good thing, quite frankly. I think it will help many people. And then, what do you think about him having to step up security? I kind of feel like he may not be the only one if that's the case, right? So that being said, thank you so much again for being here. Make sure you have your notification bell on. Ooh, that almost didn't come out. But go ahead and make sure you have your bell out, because or on all, because I will have another video coming out later on. And it's a little bit of a touchy one as well. Yeah, it is. But hey, we can talk about it. So definitely want you to not miss that. And, definitely share your comments for that video as well. And also too, I had a video earlier today that I dropped about T.I.'s retirement. So go ahead and take a view of that if you haven't done so already as well. And with that, I thank you so much for being here. You take care and you be blessed. And until next time, bye.